Alright, so we're back in Brett's garage, finishing up the 8N project. We decided to go ahead and pull the hydraulic pump. Can't really see right here, but the hydraulic pump is gone. It's attached to the bottom plate, so there's 9 bolts that we removed. You got to pull the PTO shaft out. There's 4 bolts. You remove the 4 bolts, slide the PTO shaft out, and then your hydraulic pump and that bottom plate drop down. So over here on the bench we have the hydraulic pump, and we replaced, the reason we pulled that is the shaft of the PTO is right here, and when it was installed we were having problems to accessing this pressure relief valve. We put a new style pressure relief valve in, and this is the old style, and it was pretty simple to swap that out. So now we got the pressure relief valve back in, we got the gasket scraped off, and bought a new gasket kit. You get all the gaskets for I think like $13, so that's a pretty good deal. And now we're ready to install the hydraulic pump, the bottom plate, and then we'll slide the PTO in from the back and then put the top plate on, which has our piston seals that we've already reinstalled.
Also, I bought the new piston, which is the new piston doesn't have 3 rings. It has an O-ring and a leather gasket. The leather gasket and O-ring I bought separately prior to buying the gasket kit, but it comes with the gasket kit, so I didn't have to buy it. It was only $2.
What website?
Steiner Tractor Parts.
Alright, so first we're going to put the hydraulic pump that's attached to the bottom plate back in place and run our bolts in with the new gasket sealer on the bolts. It has to go up into this front shaft, I believe. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so we're going to put some gasket sealer on. Go ahead and feed the PTO shaft into, it goes through the hydraulic pump. You see it yet? I'm going to spin it a little bit. If you have NICs, go ahead and put them on the threads. Make everything easier next time. Kinda. Right. torque your 4 bolts nice and snug for the PTO. Alright, so now we're going to put the top cover on. That rod, we're going to have to pay close attention to where that gets positioned, because that's what sets the depth and the height of your lift arms. So we have the side cover off on the side of the case, so we'll be able to see that.
Right.
You can see that.
Right there, it goes right into that.
Oh, I'm trying to get it focused. Alright, yeah, it sits right down there.
Let's just set there. A little bit.
You want to come around to the front?
Yeah.
And this hardware is all different lengths. Smallest in the front, and it gets larger as you go back, so make sure you pay attention to the position that you pull them from. Alright, we're going to have to lift this up.
You see down in there?
Mm-hmm.
Lift arms.
Alright. It's really far forward. There we go.
Right behind it, so it can lift up.
I gotta like push that thing close because it will spring load it open
Oh yeah,
to get it in.
Okay.
It's seated in the hole.
Alright.
Awesome. Alright, so I'll show you why we didn't dump our fluid in yet. Alright, so that is where that lever gets seated. And that's why we left the side cover off and didn't put fluid in, so we could visually make sure it got installed in the correct position. Brett's got the bolts in their correct position and tighten them down. Where's the actual fill port at?
Right here?
This thing's going to be turning some ground in a week or two, so stay tuned for some more videos.
It's definitely different size.
Alright, so now he is throwing the seat on. It's got 2 nuts. Pretty quick installation. He reconnected the 2 lift arms with a bolt and a cotter pin. We're about to service the hydraulics through the side. How many gallons?
5.
Takes 5 gallons of...
You can show them right there. Tractor Supply.
5 gallons of mineral oil, SA90. Then go ahead and install your hydraulic fluid. We're doing it from the side panel because it doesn't come up above that side panel that we have removed. But there's a plug up front by the shifter that you can pull and fill it through there. We just had bad luck with the one on the bottom. When we drained it, we snapped off the head.
It's laying right there on the floor if you want to show. Down there.
It's a pretty good size, so we took it to work and got the threads out of it. So we're gonna take the easy route and just pour it through the side access panel. Alright, so we got our fluid in, and the last thing we have to do is put this side cover on. And that's where your dipstick goes to check the fluid level.
This is the parking brake right here.
Parking brake, and we had to remove a bolt out of the step bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these bolts up and fire the tractor up and check the hydraulic arms. Alright, now for the ops check. Let the hydraulics build up. Before the lift arms were falling down on their own.
Got something.
They have movement. What about when you set it in the middle? Drop it all the way. What are you doing?
I'm shutting it off to see if it drops. Because normally, as soon as it shuts off, they just slam to the ground.
So it's holding pressure?
Yeah. Like typically, these would be on the ground by now.
So we fixed the problem.
I would say so.
Some weight on it. Still holding.
It's holding solid too. Awesome.
Alright, let's get this thing to the field.
That's great.
Brett named this tractor Mater.
You'll have to do a walk around on it when we're out to the field.
It's headlights that point to the ground. Brett used to work in a paint shop, but you wouldn't know it.